Yeah, it's just insane. Like this should be a lot easier. This is 2018. I literally have three things going to just record like stream, let alone all the software. Yeah, we man, my PUBG stats are pretty off the roof right now. Pretty happy with myself. I don't know. I guess good. Are we giving up on Hangouts then? Yeah, the frame rate is really bad. Like, yeah, I'm not mad on Hangouts. That'd be a pretty genius idea. Oh, frame rate is so much better on Twitch. Okay. No, we have not. No, but I did. I did. I did tell you to install it yesterday and today and a week ago and 2 weeks ago. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. Are we all in? Let's go. I don't like not. Don't give a shit, Cal. It's like oh, it's fucking. Okay, back to start. Fucking hell. So we are in maximum, and we had the last thing was that. Are you even? Are you sure? To keep interruptions to a minimum. Thank you. I appreciate it. I'm gonna put myself on not push to talk because it's fucking up my stuff. Let me know if this is way too noisy or whatever. Cool. No, it's fine. Just ask questions and stuff. Just don't be talking all the time. It's fine. Okay, here we go. So, as we saw last week, we did the model. I'm gonna move it, and it is a little bit screwed up. I have some vertices that do not match, and they don't work. So you should see in Twitch there that there's that, especially that one vertex that isn't working properly. So I'm gonna turn on the wireframe again, F4 for the wireframe, so I can see stuff. And for this specific next part, I need to have my model not transparent. And you'll see why in a second, because it shows a heat map. If it's transparent, I won't be able to see the heat map. So I'm going to select my character and unfreeze and make it not transparent. And you should see that now. Cool. Alt X to turn off transparency. So with the character selected, I can now go to do something called weightings. I'm going to try and adjust the weightings. So there's this thing here. If I go to the skin modifier, and if you remember from last week, that's where we added all our bones. There is an edit envelopes parameter. I'm going to click on that, and I'm now in edit envelope mode. And you should see the model turn like all white and all little bones show up. So there's two ways you can select bones. One is in the right hand side where the list of bones is, or I can just hover, but it's a bit awkward. I need to hover exactly on the line of the bone and click that bone, and you should see that Twitch should show up. Yeah, perfect. So you can see a little heat map there and a little kind of envelope capsule. I'm going to turn off the grid. So this envelope capsule is kind of like the area that the bone is trying to grab vertices from. So there's two ways to change it. I can change the envelope itself by just clicking on the ring and making it bigger and smaller. but that's not great. I don't have a lot of fine-tune control. It does work, but it's just not great. Like you can see, if I make it bigger, it starts to crop more stuff, which Twitch should update soon. But I probably don't want to do that because I don't really get full control. So what I'm gonna do instead is I'm gonna go right to the right hand side. There is the vertices, and I can turn that on to make sure I can individually select vertices. So I'm gonna turn that on. And with vertices on, I can also turn on this select element, which means when I click on any vertex, it'll select the whole element for the vertex. So I'll just show you what it looks like first without. So if I have select element off and I do the normal selection, it'll only select the vertices that I kind of select. But if I have select element on, if I select any of the vertices, it'll select everything connected to that element. And I built my model, if you guys follow the instructions, because it's a robot, it's made up of loads of little pieces. They're not connected together. We'll do the connected stuff later on, but for now we have this robot made up of loads of little pieces that are not connected, so it's a lot easier. So if I grab this forearm, for example, it's probably the easiest one to see. I can just select this vertex here, and that'll select this whole forearm element. And I know if we see from the heat map, red is like 100% linked to the bone, yellow is about 50%, and blue is a little bit linked to the bone. And we can see that this bone is grabbing a little bit of stuff from the palm and from the hand that we don't want it to. We wanted to only grab the forearm, and maybe there's like a little rotation ball here, maybe that as well. So how do I edit that? So if I scroll down on the right hand side, I will use this thing called the weight tool. By the way, if I'm going too fast, someone stop. There's this thing called a weight tool here. If I click on that, there's loads of different ways. There's the weight tool, weight table, and paint weights, but I'm just going to show you the weight tool because for me that's the easiest one when I started out. So first of all, the weight tool will show you all these vertices that I'm selecting, where are they rigged? So it's telling you 26 vertices selected. Some are rigged to cat rig hub, some are rigged to the palm, and most of them are rigged to the arm. I want all of these to be rigged to the arm. So what I need to do is I have it selected, and there are these bunch of numbers up here. I can input my own number in here, but 1 means it's basically 100% rigged to this bone, and 0 means it's not at all rigged to this bone. So if I hit 1, the whole forearm turns red, which means it's 100% rigged to my forearm. Then we go ahead and do the ball as well. Now I have both of these selected. If I hit Control I will invert the selection, so I'm selecting everything else. And I want to make sure that everything else is set to 0. So this bone like grabs only the forearm and the little rotation ball, and everything else is set to 0. So now if I just turn this off, I can go between animation at any time. Go grab the arm, and you can see that it is now working pretty well. Cool. Be careful at this stage as well, because if I start moving, if I pull, you can see that it's stretching my arm. I don't want that, because it thinks it's still in edit mode. So you just need to make sure to undo every time you test a move. Okay, so that's basically how you would skin stuff. You would go through the model, setting up stuff. I'm going to do another one now. Now, as you can see, because I have not turned on animation mode, it still thinks I'm in edit, so I can pull bits, and I don't want that. That's gonna cause me problems if I accidentally leave that and forget, and I go along loads of steps. So I want to make sure I lock in my animation and begin animating now. To make sure I have animation turned on, I can click on any of the bones, doesn't matter which one. And I'm going to go over to this panel, which is the motion panel. It's like a ball with loads of little shadows behind it. So on the motion panel, I need to add a animation layer to begin animation. So I'll just add an absolute layer. Just leave that on. Absolute just means it deals with the whole body. And then I'll turn on the setup animation, and it's now in animation mode. And now, if I grab the arm and start moving it, you'll see that I can't pull it anymore. I'm trying to pull it, and I can't. It sticks to bone in the same shape that it was. While I'm here, I need to set up. It's very annoying. Max does this, but the up nodes for the elbows often go back into the arm, so I just need to pull it back out. Okay. So here's where the up nodes actually become useful. Remember, I told you that when we were setting up, the elbow up nodes don't do anything. Now they do. So if I move the arm now, you can see the elbow is kind of pointing towards that up node. If I move this up node off to the side, the elbow should point towards it. So let me look at it from top so you can see. And you can see the elbow is trying to aim towards that up node. So the up nodes are useful, but only in animation mode. Cool. So what I find the easiest is if I double click the hub, because the pelvis, because everything else is a child of the pelvis. So if I double click the hub, it'll select everything. And then I'm going to turn on auto key, and I'm going to set a key here. And the reason why I want to have the key here is to make sure that I have this pose saved at frame 0. And then what I can do is just make a stupid pose at like frame 10 or whatever, it doesn't matter. And I'll just make a really silly pose just to make sure I can see the full range of motion of my entire robot, just to see what problems are there, if any. You also probably want to set your rotation to local so you can individually control the bones. Okay, we know there's a problem there because they're the same and we didn't fix this one. Here's another trick as well for animation. If I grab this bone here, and double click it, it'll select all the children. I accidentally clicked the mesh. Do it from here. If I double click that, selects all the children, which are the fingers. And if I rotate them, making sure it's rotating locally, they should all rotate at the same time, so I can clench your fists easily. Instead of having to individually select each finger bone and doing that, you can do a group select. And you'll need to fix it, I see. So it looks like the finger selections are not too bad, but I definitely have some problems, I'd say, if I rotate this body. Yeah, it kind of do. Not too bad. My head will have a problem for sure. It's going to pull on my chest. Yeah, it's pulling my chest. And this bone, the jawbone, is not going to work. Yeah, it's supposed to pull only the jaw. So let's just fix that one. If you find that the bones are getting in the way of you actually being able to see the model, once again double click the pelvis and you can just Alt X so the bones are transparent. It might be a bit easier for you. So I can see through the bones. So let me go up here and I'll fix this part and then I'll let you guys fix your own. Go into the skin. Remember it's edit envelopes. Grab the bone you want to edit. So sometimes if you're not sure which bone you're looking at, it shows up here on the side. So I'm clicking the wrong bone. I need this one. Set the jawbone. And this is why you need to label your bones, because I forgot to, and now I don't know which bone this is. I think it's a jawbone. Back down to the weight tool. Okay, yeah, perfect. The jawbone is linked. And then Control I will invert, and I'll set everything else to 0, and it stops affecting those. So this tool is just the easiest tool that I found that does this. It's a lot handier than There's other ways you can paint on the weights, and you can use the envelopes, but personally I find this tool a lot simpler. And I can even get little eye parts here. Cool. Perfect. So now when I scrub through the animation, I should be able to see whether I fixed my issues or not. Cool. That looks, the head at least looks good there. Any questions before I continue? Okay. There are a few in the Discord again. Say again, Hal. Oh yeah, it is. Okay, cool, cool. Now, yes, Ellen's. Yeah, I saw that with Ellen. It is being recorded. Yeah. Again, I have no guarantee on the quality of recording, but Twitch should hold an archive for a while, and I have an OBS one as well, so we've got redundancy, but I don't know. Okie dokes. Um, yeah, I know. She said her internet was bad, but yeah, no, it should be recorded. So, okay, next part. Do you guys want some time to try that out yourself, and then give me a shout if there's any issues? I'm confused now. Okay, while you're doing that, note one thing: you do not want to do both sides. So you see that I've only done one side of the Iron Giant, right? I've only messed around with one part of it. I didn't fix the other side. And the reason for that is there is a tool we can use that will mirror one side to the other. So I go back up to skin, go back up to the editable poly, sorry, edit envelopes. There is this mirror mode thing here. And if I click on mirror mode, everything I did on the green side, I can go to the blue side, or the blue side to the green side. Doesn't matter. It can go either way. And I need to, and this is why having the pivot point in the center is so important, because it takes your pivot point center as kind of like a symmetry mirror for the whole thing. So if you have it offset, it may not mirror correctly. The other thing that may be a problem is your model may be asymmetrical, in which case this won't work for you. But for now, my green verts I'm not happy with. I need to fix a few things here. But let's say I wanted to copy it over. If I go paste, where is it? Green to blue verts. You should see this blue arm pop into place because it should copy what the green arm is doing. So paste green to blue verts. And it did. It worked great. So focus on half of the body, and if that half of the body is perfect, and assuming your model is symmetrical, you should be able to mirror it directly over, which just saves you quite a lot of time and work. And I'm just gonna fix the rest of my body while you guys do the same. So I'll have the stream going while I do that. Edit envelopes. Is it on? And the heat map's not showing? Have you selected any of the bones? Can you send me a little screenshot, please? I quite like this Discord teaching method. I can just mute all of you, it's so good. It's in Discord, is it? Okay, cool. Discord. Is your model frozen? Because if it's frozen, yeah, if it's set to show in gray, it won't show the heat map. Did you hit Alt X on it? You probably clicked hide or something by accident. Okay, so make the model, click on the model, hit Alt X to make the model visible. Cool. Double click the pelvis bone and make the bone transparent with Alt X so you can see through the bone. What's weird? Are they childed to each other? Cool. Just one last thing to note is every part of the mesh, if it's set to 1 to a bone, so like if I set this whole element to 1 to this bone, it cannot take any other information from any other bone. So 1 is like the maximum. So if I grab this bone and set it to 1, it can't listen to any other bone. It can only listen to the bone that I set it 1 to. The only difference if I set it to like 0.5, if I do 0.5, it's now 0.5 between these two bones, so it'll move halfway between them. That's the only way to share influences. And when we go to making a full character model, this is what we're going to have to do. We're going to have to make sure that they share influences because we'll need them to be 50-50. So you see when I move this bone, kind of does weird stuff because it's half shared to the top bone and half shared to the bottom bone. But there are cases when you actually want that. Yeah, Control I. I've also realized I'm an idiot because I've gone here and I didn't pay attention to how many digits my finger has. So by default it gives me 3, but I only have 2 digits per finger, the iron giant. So I made a done mistake. And this is something you want to check for before you get here, because now I'm kind of screwed. GG. You win this time, Max. Yeah, you might want to save, actually, everyone. This one. Yeah, like I think you're gonna have a lot of problems with that. Let me just send you this latest one, like at the stage that I'm at. I'll put it. Are you in 2018? Okay. We have set up. We should have set up the autosave, but it's always better to not rely only on that. Okay, so that's saved, and I should be able to dump that into Discord. Where is Discord? Okay, that should be in Discord now. Oh, Cal, such a scrub. Such a scrub. I'm gonna save 2017. Should be able to open with that. Yeah, basically. It's quite silly. I don't like the whole compatibility thing in Max. That's going to Discord. Where are the second years? Where's the second years? Oh, Owen. Owen, get out. You're gonna, you're gonna, you're gonna get this in third year. Have you been following all my classes until now? You're gonna be so lost. Oh, that's so fair. Hi, Owen. You can stay, Owen. I was only kidding. Bye. Aw. I just don't want him to get confused. What? Second years are nice. I don't know. They didn't message me at 12:30 asking for. What? Uh, this thing was organized since last week, man. I didn't message only it. Y'all know this is all recorded, right? Very fair. When you have finished, yeah, if you have it finished, mm-hmm. Um, just I'd go through and just like move, see what I'm doing. I'm just making them do stupid poses because I just, yeah. Okay, I'll do the symmetry thing again. I just want to make sure this, I'd say my neck is being, yeah, my neck's being grabbed by my chest, and I don't want that. In terms of the animation itself, yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, it's just so if I go to the mirror, it allows me to either go green to blue or blue to green, like depending on what I'm selecting up here. So I can do whatevs. So in my case, I've been working on the green side, so I can just push that to the blue side. So paste green to blue, boop, and that worked. I think that worked. And then you turn off mirror mode when you're done. Yeah, that worked. Picked up all the stuff. Should be down. It could be down below in your skin modifier. It's in mirror. No, no, no. It's in the modifier for the skin modifier. Mirror mode. I'm fully rigged, I think. I want to say. So whenever you guys are ready, give me a shout. Dunno, Cal. Send pics. Did you click Vert's mirror or did you click Bone's mirror? Okay, so you clicked mirror mode, right? Oh no, what, this one? Mirror base? Why didn't you click the button? Oh my, like, I actually have a screen here and I'm doing, it's on the screen. So you click on the skin modifier. You have edit envelopes on. And if you scroll down, there should be a mirror parameters that you can open up and you should see mirror. Alright? Okay. That's, did I pass? Okay, fair. I'll just retake this class next year. Sorry, was that something, Keen? Oh no, does that mean my OBS is only recording my audio? No, it should record desktop audio. Oh, dark. But it's recording desktop audio. That's dark. Audio, 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 audio. Aha! Default. No idea if that worked.
I guess I can check.
Oh, it is. Yes, it's recording you guys now. When you talk, I see a little thing. I'm not crazy.
That's debatable.
I think most people get the questions asked by contacts. I'm hoping. When you're done, you can just go ahead and get rid of those animations that you made for testing. Again, double click. Make sure you double click the pelvis though, because you want to make sure you select every single bone. Because the way 3ds Max works, if I select this bone, it only shows me the keyframes for that bone, and I might have one on a different bone. So if you double click the pelvis, it'll show you every single keyframe for every single bone. Just delete the test ones, and I can begin animating.
You animate. Do you animate from the? You animate from the rig. So when I was trying to do the inverting of the actual flipping, the animation almost, it was flipping. It wasn't even flipping the model itself. Sorry, I'm burping.
Which are you flipping?
I was trying to flip the actual animation, so the 10
To
at
mirror
the 10
it
frame.
exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, I kind of don't do that, to be honest. I kind of manually put them together. I can look into that a bit more for you, and we can both explore this together. But at the
Private tutoring with Basil, huh?
no, all of us. Yeah.
Oh,
But all of us. Sorry. I just usually do it manually because I find it's more. It just gives me less problems. But I understand that some animations, some studios need you to be exact, so I'll have to check that out for you.
Okay. Are we supposed to freeze, by the way, the model when we're animating?
Exactly. When we're finished, we will freeze the model so we don't accidentally select it. And then we can only we can use just the bones. I'm actually going to go ahead and do that now. Oh no. Freeze, 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 freeze. I'd say we'll be done faster than 2. I know I said 3 hours or whatever, but I think we'll be done faster.
Do you have to go somewhere? Is that what you're trying to say?
No. Just people worried about saying too long. Oh, meme generation is here.
Who?
Who's Rock Pooper?
Owen.
That would be me.
What happens if emojis were removed from your life? What would you guys do?
We couldn't express our emotions.
Yeah, exactly.
I wouldn't be able to go on.
No, I'd probably drop out.
Yeah, live a life as a hermit.
So, Baz, if you want me to drop out, you just remove emojis from the Discord, and I'll drop out.
Oh wait, it's only the Discord that matters to you? If it's everything else,
Yeah.
is grand.
That's fine.
So tempted. Can I do that?
I just need to be able to spam the Baz emote, that's all.
Server settings.
No, please. I'm gonna get it out before you do this.
I don't know if I can stop emojis. I don't think I can. I can only edit like more emojis. I'm the only one editing more emojis. I'd say we need a new emoji.
What happened? What happened to our Liam bump map? Is that still there?
Should be.
If
I
not,
thought somebody
Hold on, let
took
me
it
just
down.
John removed it.
You think?
Why?
He was sick of your shit as memes.
Alright, so
He
next
said
emoji
enough.
is cow.
Yeah, it's gone. It's not there.
I don't think we ever actually
That was
added it to the emotes.
No,
Oh,
it was there
because
for a while.
that's it. We never had it because nobody gave me a 128 by 128.
They did. I remember.
We did.
Yeah,
It was,
we
it was on the
used it
Discord for like
multiple
a
times.
day.
Yeah.
We used it for a day, and then the Liam B thing was there as well.
Oh yeah, Liam B.
Oh, the bee.
Well, if there's 128 by 128 images. Yeah, I'm gonna make a channel just for emojis. Emoji suggestions.
My model is not frozen.
Class work. So if there's a friend of mine who's really old and doesn't know how to use Discord and wants to move a channel from a subgroup to a different subgroup, how would that?
How would that very old person and like
That
you know
friend of mine.
almost stupid person would do it?
Oh, I don't know if I call him stupid. I think he's smart in other ways, but
How do you know that, Basil?
he's my friend. He's just a good friend of mine.
I don't know. I don't think we should tell him.
Why can't I move it? You don't know.
Literally just drag it, don't you?
Yeah.
That's what I was trying. It's not dragging. I thought I was stupid. I was trying to drag and it wasn't dragging. Oh, drag now. That's not how the suggestion thing works.
Are we able to edit the timeline as well, so we can just show a small snippet of animation? Like, are we allowed to do that, or are you going to snap at us?
Yeah, we are. That's the whole point. That's what we did last week. Were you here last week?
I was no. Well,
Sorry, 2 weeks ago for the ball animation thing.
Oh
I
no,
think
I was not there. That was the week of the sickness.
you
Thanks
didn't
to-
watch the video. Oh my god, do you guys not understand
Okay.
what 128 by 128 is?
My emote's better.
It's not an emote, so it's not going to go in. I'm going to
No, I mean on Discord. Not on Discord, on Twitch.
Is everyone finished rigging? Or are we still...
We-
can I move on, or will I not?
You can move on. I'm done anyway.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Anyone who's not, let me know now. No? Bucci? Okay, cool. Cool. You can DM me if you're afraid to say. Nope, no one DM'd. Okay, so I just want some DMs. So I've got
We're your students!
what's wrong with DMs? I'm gonna set the key here, so I have this 0 key set. I've taken to doing this because there's like often been issues with the rig later on, and like you kind of want to go back. So having this like safe pose at the start is kind of quite handy. It's also good for reference poses, just to make sure. Like, say you want to slap the bottle in the engine just to see what the lighting looks like. You don't need to have any animations. Just having that reference
thought
pose is quite handy.
If you pause the animation, what's called layer, like in the motion pan, if you pause it, it goes back to the
It does go
default
back.
after
It does
it's
go back to default. But my point is, say I've done loads of animations and made it into a really weird pose, and then I want to just like put it back to the start and then start again for the next animation. I have this reference pose there that I can just.
Oh,
copy.
you can't separate like a second layer or anything like that to
You
use
can
for next
do,
animation?
but it's just awkward compared to actually just I can just freeze one here. It's just easier.
Okay.
Okay. So I've got 0. That's locked in. And I'm going to do a run cycle or walk cycle, and I'm going to do that for 30 frames. So I'm going to start at 1 and I'm going to end at 30. So that's like a 1 second animation, because at the moment I'm running at 30 frames a second. So if I click on time config, yeah, my FPS is 30. So 30 frames is 1 second. And I'm going to start the time at 1 and end the time at 30. So this should be a 1 second animation of him walking, Mr. Iron Giant. Again, when you start the frame, double click the pelvis, just lock it in place, just to make sure we have a lock there. And then I can just grab that and I'll set it into the first frame of the animation. So the first frame of the walk cycle, did you guys do walk cycles with me in first year or second year even? No?
We didn't have you in second year.
Okay. So, oh, that's annoying. Okay, there's a whole bunch of, well, we went through the animation theory stuff. Have y'all seen a walk cycle before? It should look like this. Let me just find a walk cycle.
Find a monstrous one.
So here's a good one. This one is the one I usually use to show. Now there's a lot of frames in here. We don't need all these frames. This is like literally frame by frame. So this frame 1, frame 2, frame 3, frame 4, blah blah blah. Keeps going. We don't need all of those because not Unity, 3ds Max will automatically do most of these for us. It'll tween between them. So what we definitely need is we need like the high point. So just before it hits the ground, we'll need the contact. So when it kind of more the recoil, it'll hit the ground, and then we'll go back up to like the high point. So you'll see what I mean now. I'm just gonna run through it, and I can run through it again if you wish. So for the first frame, and again, this is only my method, okay? So this is not necessarily the best way to do things. It's just the way I've found easiest, and if you find a different walk cycle method, I mean, by all means. So my first thing is I'm gonna try and put the pelvis like you never, when you're walking, never have your knees straight up completely. So you kind of bend it down a bit, and I'm going to put it into the first frame, which is basically going to be just as the character is about to like put their foot on the ground. So just like that, foot's just about to go on the ground, it's ready to push up, and the rear foot is kind of like stable on the ground. This is why the ankle is so important, because I can control the ankle independently of the foot. And I'll just have the foot like just where it's pushing up. If you're not sure where the ground is, turn on your grid and just hit right so you can see it exactly. You should be able to see like a baseline. So
Is there a way to clear the entire, like, I know if you click on different bones so that it has different animations in the timeline, is it possible to delete all the bones, or all the animations from every bone? Like, because
if you double click the pelvis, it should select all the bones, and then you should see all the animations for every bone.
you can just delete them?
Yeah. So when you're animating, always do from simple shape. It's always simple to complicated. So don't be doing like weird stuff like their chest rotating and like, you know, little fingers moving and stuff like that. Don't do that. Those are all secondary animations. So we're going to do the basic shapes first. And notice if my right leg is forward, my left leg should be back. My left arm should be back. They never follow in sync. So that's weird. Nobody walks like that unless you're goose stepping. So I'm just going to rotate hand up. This one should go back. Animate. And I'm also, yeah, no, that's fine for now. Cool. So that's the first frame. As I said, it's locked. It's already locked, but I'm a bit OCD, so I like to lock it again just to make sure. And what I can do is select that frame, just drag it to the middle, and the middle should be 14, 15, because I'm on 30 frames. And what I want to do in the middle, if I look at it from the side, I can straight up just exchange them. So now the right foot should be where the left foot is, the left foot should be where the right foot was. Oh no, I'm gonna have to do it on the first frame. No. It's fine. Let's do it on the first frame. And they should be basically mirror images of each other. As Cal said, there is a way to mirror them exactly. I just don't like it, but I'll try and figure out to make sure that it works correctly before I come back to you. So you should have this, and it looks terrible. That's not real animation, but it's fine. Lock it at both ends, and then select the first frame and dump it all the way back. Shift and drag will copy it. So then when I press play, it should loop through a really bad walk cycle. And I'm just really caring about the arm and leg swinging. So again, just basic movements first. And we'll start adding in all the other stuff in a second. So these are the high points that I want to deal with. It's basically where they've just lifted themselves off the ground and they're about to fall down onto their front leg. Why are these emojis so terrible?
That's not very nice.
They're amazing.
They want 28, we want 28.
Basil, for some reason, it's ignoring attempts to move anything now. Like if I select a bone and try lift it up or anything like that, it doesn't let me.
Which bone are you selecting
The
specifically?
head, even the chest,
Uh,
or anything or hubs, it
You
won't let me change.
can't move the head though. So like if I try to move mine, I
Oh
can
no,
only,
I mean like, even though it's like the chest or something, just to pull it up or anything like that, it won't let me.
I can't move the chest up. I can only move the pelvis. The chest is like the highest it can go. Can you move it forwards and back? Like in my model.
Let's see. Yeah, I can.
Yeah, it just can't go higher because it's like trying to stretch a real person's spine. It just won't, you know.
Makes a sense.
Does. Cool. Is everyone done with this simple cycle? Or
No.
okay, that's fine. Control S is definitely. What's up with the squirrel? I don't get the reference.
I was gonna say something like about age.
Detective Squirrel. Don't understand you, cool kids.
He's a gangster actually, and I like him.
Is that literally the only reason?
Yeah.
Well, okay, that's
I
fair.
found him in a giant, like, there's a giant gay hub where they post and make Discord emotes, and I just found him one day, and I was like,
My son.
I'm gonna do like the highest voted emojis.
No, because then it's just gonna be fucking memes.
I feel like you don't understand how emojis work.
well, you need to give me this one anyway. I was awarded it for making a Discord picture. The beautiful boom boom squirrel. Squirrel fox.
Oh, that's true. Fair.
So you have to give this one to me.
Oh, I only have limited slots for emojis? What?
Yeah, you
No.
have to have no. If you don't have turbo, on a server, you can't have like a billion Discord emotes.
So, Avery, how does that logic work? You won before, so you get to win again?
No, my reward was that I get to make
Reward?
an emoji. That was the promise.
Was it?
Oh, the squirrel's called Ship It. Oh, I like it. It's like some sort of game dev joke.
It apparently is. Just don't understand it.
Ship it. It's just like, don't care, ship it.
That's an anime thing, if anything.
No, that's shipping. That's different.
It's not the romantic shipping. Ship it as in send it out. Be
Yeah.
release. God,
Known-
Cal.
Known
Oh, I'm
bug,
sorry.
just ship it. Who
Simple
cares?
context cues, Cal.
Simple context is too much context, to be honest. For me, I'm kind of special that way.
Brianna, how much would it cost if you were just mean to people and then I couldn't be traced to the source of it?
What? Nothing. I'll do it for free.
Oh, so these.
Dees, is that what the hip old kids say?
Decent.
Do you not know these? Oh my god, Cal, I'm teaching so much today.
You think you're teaching. That's what you think. We're actually doing this for you, Basil. So you... no, I'm gonna be mean.
Yeah. Because I'm
Boost
the
your
one
ego.
who-
It's like a. No,
I'm-
you're right.
I'm the one who benefits. You're right. Snow day could be playing Into the Breach, but
Yeah. I could be playing Into the Breach. We all could be into the Breach. But you
Such a good
want to
game.
have class.
such a good. I didn't. You're the ones who asked for it.
I didn't ask for it.
Is it worth
You don't need
getting?
to be here then, Kyle.
Yeah, but I want to be here. With my homies. My pretend homies.
Never
Don't laugh!
Say that again.
Why, homies? My home dogs.
You do realize? Okay.
Oh God.
It's all recorded. It's fine.
Yeah, that's... Where's the
Um,
last frame of animation coming in?
So just what I'm doing, just real quick on my thing, I just rotated the fingers so it doesn't look like he's got his hand completely straight out, and I can just copy those. And it's okay to copy those because it only affects those bones. So it doesn't change where the fingers are in relation to the hand, it just changes their actual rotation.
Did you delete the first frame, by the way?
No. It's there. Because I need to have the first frame there.
Well, no, I mean the first frame of the idle pose, whatever it is.
Oh no,
You-
it's just set to 0, so it's behind the time frame.
Oh!
It's saved there. I'm doing
How do
it
you-
1 to 30.
How do you get it back then?
So the way to do that is to come to class 2 weeks ago,
I'm-
or watch the recorded video
Oh.
that was uploaded.
Correct.
Basil, I was sick. Can you please explain anyway?
I recorded the video. It's here. Time configuration.
Mhm.
I also just did it today. Time configuration, and then you
Yeah.
can change the start time and the end time, and that will lock the timeline
Oh.
to where it shows. Now you got to be careful because if I have an animation outside the time frame, it will still affect animations here, which is why I have a lock at the start and at the end to make sure any animation frames outside of the timeline I'm looking at don't affect it.
Sorry, Baz. Last Friday's video is
It's what, sorry? You cut out there?
it's on YouTube, is it? The last.
Yeah, it should
last
be, yeah. Yeah. If it's not, let me know, but I uploaded it. Brianna asked for it and I uploaded it. So.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Grand.
You all have links to the YouTube, don't you?
Firewater Stone Media.
What's a YouTube?
Fucking millennials.
I'm
Nick,
so
you
happy.
just said how you were a millennial last week, like 2 days ago.
I'm so happy I'm an ex
A what?
Okay.
No, Nathan. Shh.
A what?
Fake word.
No. Shh. No. Shh.
I'm saying no, no, shh, it's like a fucking beat or something.
Drop
No,
that
no,
beat, Liam.
shh.
No. Shh.
Can't believe Liam is such a fucking genius beatmaster.
Thank you, man. Thank you. I'm gonna go on X Factor and just
I
go.
thought
No,
you were
no.
gonna say the Late Late Joe. Shake right in Turbandy's hand.
Anyone-
I don't know his name actually.
What?
What's the name?
Tuberty.
Tuberty.
Ryan Tuberty.
Turbandy. No, I don't watch TV. I'm sorry.
Ryan Tuberty.
Yeah, I was close enough. Fuck off.
Who did the reaction to that picture? That is amazing.
Is there a hotkey for mute on Discord?
Do you want? I don't
I'm not
see
sure.
ourselves.
No, just like if I need to like cough or some shit.
Control
I don't
N.
think so.
Oh
Control
no, it's
N.
not Control N. I thought it was Control N. Keybinds.
Yeah, I'm looking at keybinds. I don't see one.
Oh no, you have to assign it, I think. Yeah, push to mute, and then you have to assign the keyboard.
Oh, you
keybind
need to
itself.
add one. Fair. Oh yeah, push to mute.
Toggle streamer mode. We just have the basic animation for the walk, do we?
Oh, I need to hold down to mute. That's so stupid. Say again, sorry.
We just have to have the basic walk cycle. Do we?
Yeah, right now, literally, like what I'm playing on screen, just that. I know it looks terrible, but that's the whole point.
Wait, do it
Starts
again.
off.
Sorry, play it again.
It's
Or is
playing
it
now.
delayed? I can't tell. Oh, it's playing. Oh, I did mine. Oh, well, shit.
Toggle mute. There we go.
Muted yourself. I'm confused.
Yeah, I just want to like cough or sneeze or something.
That's a weird or cough or sneeze.
They are two separate actions.
No, they're not.
Cal, what world do you live in?
My own.
Can I continue yet? Do we want to hold off for a bit? Do we want to take a little break?
Do you want to take a little break?
No, I'm fine. I want to finish this animation probably before we think about breaks.
Yay, animated.
Cool. All right. So if I'm good to go, so I've got this walkie walk, and it is obviously not realistic at all. So the next part is we're gonna try and make it realistic, which essentially is the addition of weight, because weight is basically what makes stuff like realistic looking. Whoever's keyboard that is, OMG. So just I'm gonna put a keyframe about here, about halfway between. And this is where I'm going to add the weight. So I'm going to dump the pelvis down. So you'll see what happens. It hits down and then goes back up, which already looks a lot more realistic. And to make sure it goes exactly there, I can just copy that pelvis and dump that here as well. So pelvis down, pelvis down. And now that already looks way better. Still not great, but way better than it did before. So just with weight and without weight makes a huge difference. So that's the first part. I'll do the weight. Now, not just the weight, I also need to do and I'm doing them all in the same frame. I'm doing them all in number 7 here. It doesn't matter which one you do, it could be 8, 6 or whatever. But I'm doing them all in the same frame just to make it easier for myself to keep them all in line. But in reality, you have an offset but we'll put in the offset at the end. So we'll just do the basic stuff first. So the pelvis down, so that'll kind of like bend forwards. Sorry, not the pelvis, the chest. And again, you can copy that over to, I forgot where it was. It is on 23. So I'm on 723. Copying them over. And the head can also kind of like bob up. So it should go boop, yep. And why not? I'm going to make him open his mouth every time he takes a step. Just because he's a bit stupid. Bah.
Diesel ain't stupid. Don't say that.
He's actually very stupid.
I flew into nuke. Don't know if that's
What the fuck is Muke?
a nuke.
Have you ever seen the Iron Giant, Cal?
He's fluent in nuke. Is it literally just nuke, like as in nuke technology, or what?
He flew into a nuke.
Oh, he flew into a nuke. I thought you were saying he's fluent in nuke. I thought you were talking about Vin Diesel.
Contacts.
Oh.
I thought you were talking about Vin Diesel's languages.
Sounds like the language that Pingu uses.
What?
The nuke
How-
nuke.
How
I
does
said,
Pingu?
no. We said nuke. A nuke.
Ah, of course. Because that's a language.
Shut the
Yeah, Liam.
So I've just done the upper body first, and I'm just going to do the lower body now. Done the upper body, from the pelvis up. Just kind of all I did really was put them all on the same frame, made the pelvis go down, made the chest rotate forwards a little bit, and the head rotate forwards a little bit. So it should look like it's going. Ideally, the rotations should happen after it hits the ground, because you don't rotate your body as soon as you hit the ground, or before you hit the ground even. It's like you hit the ground and then the kind of shock wave travels up and then they rotate. But for now we'll keep them here and we'll move them out later. Um, here is also where I'm gonna fix the feet. Whose keyboard is that? Liam.
Oh, sorry.
Liam.
Push to talk, dude.
Can you eat your mic more?
Yeah, sure.
So the leg kind of just floats. They just kind of float between positions, which is not what I want. So this is the front leg here, and at this stage, which is 7, that leg should be contacting the ground because it's stepping forwards to contact the ground, like so. And then the trailing leg, this leg, should be kind of lifting up, and the feet should be rotating back, like so. So now it should look like it pushes off with that leg, and this front leg contacts the ground and pushes backwards. And I'll just need to do the same then on the other side.
Don't forget to save.
Everyone press Ctrl S. And if I play the whole thing through, this should be way more realistic now. I think it's hitting the ground too much, so I can just edit that. That's too little. And if you guys get up to that, we're pretty much like 90% of the way there. All we need to do is some offsets and a couple of extra bits, and we're done for a walk cycle. I hate my Twitch chat.
Just refresh the page and it all disappears.
What, so you can add more memes? I'm not born yesterday. Brianna, I feel like that millennial emoji won't work small, will it? Just be...
It is 128 by 128.
Yeah, I know, but I I think if I
I
like
don't
if
know.
you actually post it, I don't think you'll see anything.
Also, the black text is hard to read on the dark theme of Discord, so you'd have a...
Well, then you can switch to daytime theme, Keen.
No. I refuse.
Maybe just a big X would be great. Big X annual X. So
Could
happy
you
when I
just
found that out.
post a massive X then, like capitalized X?
Then Disney's sue us.
Wait, sorry, Disney owned the copyright to the letter X?
Yeah, they bought everything, including the alphabet.
Oh, dang.
Okay, in about like 10 minutes, I'm gonna just finish off the animation. This is the hardest animation we'll do. The walk cycle is the hardest one.
Who made the Baz Dab one?
Cube.
Oh my god.
Yeah, that was me.
It was a Kian and Kian collab, technically.
How do we generate power off memes? Because if we could.
Cryptocurrency. And then use that currency to pay for fuel.
Cryptocurrency is killing the world though.
I did everything. I in the DIT
So are memes though.
or the GDC group. There's a bunch of developers that are trying to push like cryptocurrency game sort of currency kind of thing, where if you play games, you generate currency, and it's just I'm like, stop, please.
It does make sense.
But still, at the same time, like trying to merge different things is weird. I don't know.
Well,
I don't like the idea of cryptocurrency at all, to be honest.
Isn't game currency literally just that one Black Mirror episode where they're on the treadmills?
Pretty much. Even the Rick and Morty sort of world with like the treadmill or the bouncing, the thing that generates his car fuel. Literally, that shit is the same idea as cryptocurrency, really.
yeah, but none of us will have jobs because the robots will have all of it.
Then why don't we just have communism then and make everyone rich?
No, because then, what? I mean, what, robot communism?
Fully automated
Oh,
luxury.
if everything is fully automated, right? Why don't we
What-
like?
what's the hang on.
Because we'd be bored as hell if we had nothing to do. I've
No,
got 3
we
days
could-
snow day and I feel bored as hell already.
We could do like pursue creative paths ourselves rather than like doing things that would be self-fulfilling but
Okay,
not detrimental to our physical and well-being.
Be honest, Cal, you just make memes all day.
Yeah, no, I don't like memes. You want to see my favorite fucking meme? I'll show you my favorite fucking meme. 1 second. What the fuck is this?
It's gonna be a
1
good
second.
meme.
I'm excited.
Lol.
Yeah, don't think you guys are gonna be too excited.
If this is a shit meme, Cal, you have to leave. Be like,
I don't
we're
know
gonna
if it's a
judge
shit
you,
meme or not.
Yeah, can we ban Cal from the Discord?
depending on the meme.
I think if Basil bans me, he'll get sacked for bullying.
Sweet summer child.
Cal, not for it.
I'm not feeling that meme now.
I'm
I can
sorry, but
appreciate
love
it. I can
I
appreciate it.
think it's hilarious.
It's a little funny.
There's also another picture of this woman on Reddit where she's getting bitten by geese. So there's a collection of images of her just getting
Right.
bitten by animals for some reason.
I
Ha!
ate geese. Okay, now I'm going to continue so it feels like everyone's okay. So I've got that movement. I'm actually going to remember to double click pelvis, lock everything there, and lock everything here just to make sure everything's locked. And the last little bits I'm gonna do. I'm actually gonna I won't lock them. I'm just gonna. It's fine if you have locked them. Just I won't. Just gonna do a thing. Cool. Alright, so does that work? Yeah, cool. The last little bits I'm going to do. So I was messing around with the upper body stuff. The rotation specifically of the chest and the head were the big ones I was dealing with. But as I said, as you can see, the body's, the foot's just hitting the ground and the body is already kind of rotating, which doesn't make sense. So what I can do is if I select the head and the chest, grab their keyframes, and I'll just offset them, just push them back a bit. So that way they'll hit the ground first and then the body will go. And you can see that's a lot more natural looking. So that's one quick way to do one thing. Alright, hope you can see that. That's number one. And I'll also start adding in some hip rotation stuff. So at the start, let's make the hip rotate a little bit that way, and then we'll rotate the body back to compensate. And then we'll do the opposite here. So rotate the hip forwards a little, and rotate the body back to compensate. And if the last bit, I can just copy the first frames. And because I'm selecting both the pelvis and the chest, it'll copy both their keyframes.
Oh,
Okay, now
realized
it's got a
Sorry.
bit too. I've made it very sassy, but I'm okay with that.
Why does his legs kind of go inward?
That would be to do with your. Is that my model? Is that?
Your model, yeah. No, it's on
Knee.
even in your animation you're showing. His sort of knees are bent inward. they're
That
kind of
would be to
cocked
do.
inward.
Just going to delete these frames so they rotate. That would be to do with the up notes. So I'll also probably need to make sure the up nodes are,
Like spread out a bit.
yeah, let's see that. So let's put them out here and here, and they have their own keyframes. So I can copy that to the end, and here I'll split them out as well. There we go.
Nice.
And often what you need to do is just kind of test the different positions of keyframes just to see which works best. And feel free to move them up and down. But once you have your basic movements done already though, because now if I look at the timeline, it's starting to get a lot more complicated because I've started moving stuff all over the place. So just get your basic, that's why I always do them in the same frames first before I start doing this part to make it simpler. Way too saucy. Cool, bit better. And you can also do little things like rotate the hands as well, so it looks like they swing. So if that goes back, that looks like it's swinging its hands.
I can barely. My
Something about the internet there, Cal?
the
What?
Same.
my internet.
Okay. Well, it is being recorded, so hopefully it should be alright. Yeah, there's internet problems. Okay, I'm gonna move on to the next last bit, which is, oh, sorry, this is finished basically. My animation is finished. And when you're done, you can go off and make other animations. So if I double click this, it is locked at the end. So lock and lock. So this is a self-contained animation between 1 to 30. That's self-contained. So if I go off and add another animation now, if I grab the add animation, I can do one from like say 31 to 100, and that can be my idle. So I'm doing a 2-second idle, 2 and a bit second. But you'll see if I go 31 to 100, the problem is it still retains its motion from the animation before it. So that's why I need my reference frame, the one all the way at 0. So I'm going to start at 0, double click to select all the bones, click on 0, and shift drag it to 31. So now it does reference, walk cycle, and then it goes back up to my reference. And starting from my reference, 31 to, yeah, 100 is fine. Maybe to 120, make it a bit longer. And this will be my idle, and the idle is a lot easier. So just straight up put it in the first pose of being a kind of a relaxed pose. And I'm trying to move out these up nodes for the elbow because nobody keeps their hands directly straight in line with each other. So I'm just going to do that. And oops. That'll be the first frame of the idle. Copy that to the end. And I'll just have to do really the minimum, the bare minimum is just 1 in the middle. So 120 divided by 30 is 90 plus 45, so it's about 70. So just do literally that. And just remember to move like almost everything, because otherwise it'll look like some parts are just staying still. That's weird. And that's my idle. That's a super simple idle. It's just 3 frames. Is everyone gone internet-wise?
Mine's in and out. It kind of stammers for a bit, but it's fairly.
Fairly
Mine's fine.
stable.
Yeah, mine's fine too.
Okay, I'll just keep going then. For the people who are fine.
Baz,
so-
robots don't breathe.
What?
Robots don't breathe, Baz.
Robots do not breathe. I could just make it like stand perfectly stock still, but I kind of want some sort of feedback of idle. So if you look at any of the games with robots, they actually do breathe, like Mega Man does. Mega Man has a little kind of like
Isn't Mega Man like? No, never mind.
part robot, part
Yeah.
human. Well, give me a famous robot animation.
The Iron Giant.
But I mean, like in a game, like.
Metal Sonic.
I hate you.
But even Mega
Nier.
Man does a little blink. So.
Oh, Ratchet from Ratchet and Clank.
Oh yeah, Nier.
No,
Well,
Clank
they're
from
all
Ratchet and Clank.
androids. Yeah. Oh,
They're
Clank
meant-
definitely.
What's your point?
They're meant to be human-like. 'cause that's
Clank like scratches his head and stuff, right? That's his
Full
idea.
frontal side idle animation.
Does breathe.
I'm thinking about the robots in Overwatch. Like Zenyatta, I think, kind of like he bobs up and down. But then like Bastion, I think, is like more like.
He's
they're
like very
joined-
coggy though, like he bounces.
Yeah. Because they're like.
Oh, I don't want to go here because they spelt heroes wrong. That seems to be the best one. That's annoying. Bastion 117. What? Where did it go to the... 117. Yeah, kind of judders. So you just need an animation, otherwise it just looks like a game broke, basically. So you kind of need at least something. Yeah, I know I've made a breathe. I probably could do a judder like Bastion, but I mean, effort. So that's the easiest idle you can do. You can obviously do stuff where like they're turning their head and stuff like that, and you can also do multiple idles. So you can like basically randomize between the idles. Especially a lot of games do it. So if you spend too long in idle animation, it keeps playing the idle animation for a while, and then if a certain amount of seconds has passed, it randomizes and picks like some other crazy animation. So that's simple enough to do in code as well. We'll be setting up this robot to do that. But for this one, we'll just do basic one. The next character will be way more complicated, so it'll have randomized idles, it'll have like all sorts of jump frames, kind of reaction animations. But for now, this one is just walk, idle. I don't think, yeah, we'll just do it one frame jump. So a
And
one frame jump. Say what? Sorry.
Is that next one going to be our assignment for?
Mm-hmm. It's
Okay.
going to be your final set. Yeah.
Cool.
Like including your VR one.
Yeah.
So then after this, all I need is a one frame. I'll just do 121 to. Can I do 121 to 121? No, I have to do it to 122. Okay, that's annoying. One single frame of jumping, and I want a one single frame of hitting the ground. So 121 to 122. Okay. So straight up one frame jumping, and it'll just be the robot, kind of like halfway through the leap, because Unity will transition between the animations for us. So we don't need to do the getting ready animation stuff, and also because in games you need to transition to jump straight away. You can't have a ready frame for the jump. Oh, feels. I'm gonna do it so he's going to space. Superman style.
This is making me want to watch.
It's a legit good game. Good movie even.
I was gonna say, there's a game of it.
There is a game of it, actually.
Is it
You
a
don't
good
have
game?
the game.
I don't think it's a very good game, but I could be wrong.
Is it as good as the ET game?
There's a VR one, right?
What? Oh yeah, but that's not really Iron Giant. It's like it's so blatantly Iron Giant, but it's not. You know what I mean? Bleh. Are you watching the movie right now?
No.
You are, aren't you? Yeah, he is.
No, I was looking up the game.
Is it look good? I think it's pretty bad. I can't remember.
I can't find it.
Maybe there isn't one. It's in Infinities. Maybe it's in Infinities.
We should make one.
You should make one, yeah, with that model.
So
That
that's
should
the
be our
jump.
final assignment.
God, you want to make a whole game? I'll do it. And then, so that's the jump, and then I just need to hit the ground. That's all I need. 1 frame for jump, 1 frame for hit the ground. And hit the ground would just be hitting the ground. And then for, like, you can do that and tweak that over the next week. And when we come back, we'll set it up in Unity and stuff.
Are we doing the materials today, or are we doing that for the week?
Yeah, I was gonna say let's take a little like 10-minute break or something before we do the materials.
Cool.
Yeah. Just gonna have my coffee and then bitch to everyone. I'm gonna make the fall really exaggerated. The land really exaggerated. Because it'll only be 1 frame. Should be quick. Cool. And that should be all we need. Walk, walk, idle, jump, and land. I think that's all we need for now.
So what are we doing after this?
The material stuff, it'll be pretty quick. I'd say it'd be like 15-20 minutes or something.
Okay, so we've finished this around 1:30.
I'd say so, yeah.
Okay, great.
Oh, I can not take a break if you guys are okay. I can just keep going. Just do the materials, get it over with.
I'm not gonna make any decisions. I get shouted out. Say
I'm happy with that.
I'm okay with that, yeah.
Alright, they've made the decision.
Okay, cool. So when you're done, like I expect you to do this over the week, so I don't expect you to do it now. I know I ran through this. So you should have something like this, what I have on screen, which is essentially the reference pose, the walk pose, an idle, walk and idle animation, and then 1 frame each for jump and fall. Jump and hit the ground, not even fall. Oh, I probably need a 1 frame for a fall as well, actually. Because otherwise he'll just be in the jump animation when it's falling. So I do need a 1 frame for in the middle of falling. So let's do that 123. And let's do a quick falling down animation. Blah. And So I've got its falling animation. Cool. Oh no, my auto key wasn't on. I hate my life.
Rookie mistake.
Very rookie mistake. So I've just lost all of that, so I just need to undo all the way back. So dark. Oh, don't tell me auto key wasn't on for ages. No, it was fine before, right? Oh no! Oh, it's very dark. Okay, I guess I really have to redo all my animations again. So don't do what I done did. Remember to have auto key on when you're animating. Sigh. Okay, I need to redo all of my animations. Great stuff. Cool.
Sad times.
Very sad times. Yep, just don't do what I done did. Always have auto key on when you're animating. Ah, dark. Okay, cool. So just for that, just have that. So you have idle, you have walk, idle, and then you should have jump, fall, and hit the ground. Cool. I'll put that in Discord. Cool. Alright, so the next thing we just want to cover real quick is basically how to create your own materials. And in Substance, you do have this thing, you have access to this thing called Substance Designer, which is a lot more complicated than we need it to be. Like, we're only going to use a very simple part of it. And we have this thing called Bitmap to Material, which is quite handy. So what Bitmap to Material can do is, if I have an image, so I'm going to try and grab this image that I had here. Cool. So I had this picture taken. It's like a wall, a tile on a wall, but it's not square, so I cropped out a square part of it because it needs to be square. And with this picture, I'm going to try and make a material of it, and we'll see that in Substance Painter. We'll be able to use it in Substance Painter. So if I drag that square on, boop, and I can load it into main input, or I can also just click main input here. Either way will work, and this basically loads in a picture. Now what this program does, where's Salsa Design? What this program does is it takes an image you've made and tries to make a normal map from it and occlusion maps and everything from it. So I just have an image, there you go. And you see it's kind of trying to do its work already. It sort of has a little bit of normal effects on it. You should be able to see that in Twitch now. Yeah. So it's not too bad by default, but I can tweak it a bit more. So that's the main input. The output size is the resolution that it's going to output at. I'm going to do it to 124. And then there's a bunch of settings we have here. So there is global is kind of like just changes globally how the light equalizes. The light equalizer tries to make it so my image is actually not too bad. It doesn't have too much shine, but you see there's a little bit of a shine up here because there's light hitting it. A light equalizer tries to like normalize that and tries to make everything the same. It look like there's no light shining directly on one part or the other. So you see it kind of works, but it also sometimes darkens other parts. So it's about 50-50 like how well it works. And you're trying to get it somewhere where it looks good. Now this part here, the make it tile, I don't like this. I prefer doing it in Photoshop, just making it tile yourself in Photoshop. Do you guys all know that actually in Photoshop how to make stuff tile?
No.
No? Okay. Photoshop. It's fairly simple, at least on a simple basis. You can do it here as well, but I'll just show you the Photoshop version first. Oh, Photoshop, come on. Okay, I don't know why Photoshop's taking a million years. Is it doing anything? While I wait for that. So in here we can do make a tile right here. Oh, great. Thanks, buddy. Close my Iron Giant. Cool, so there it is. So first of all I need to make it square. So I'll just hold shift, just grab the square part of it, don't really care. And crop it out. Cool, so that's cropped. I need to duplicate this because it's on a background layer, or just unlock the background layer. Cool. So now it's square by itself, but I don't tile on each side. To do that, I'll need to do a thing called an offset, filter, other, offset. The image is 3000 by 3000 pixels. So I'm going to offset it halfway through, which is about 1500. So what it's done is it's kind of this was top left, and it's shifted it down there. And it's also shifted everything to the right. Like if I paint a little red dot, you should be able to see what's happening. So here's a red dot here. Okay, I guess that's not red. And I'll put a green dot here. So if I do the offset again, so the top left was here, and this is the bottom right. It's kind of just been shifted down, and they wrap around each other. Now, why that's useful is I can go over and use a clone tool. And with the clone tool, you can just like select a point and start cloning. Like it's not great with this because I have a very geometric pattern. Ideally, this works best with stuff that's natural looking, but it's not doing the worst. It's not great, but it's not doing the worst. Okay, so that kind of looks tiled, not really, but if this was a grass image or something, it would be a lot better for those kind of like non-geometric patterns. I've got a lot of problems because I've got geometric patterns here and there, so it doesn't do that well with geometric patterns. But anyway, that is now tiled. So if I do filter offset again, if I make a new image, you should be able to see that if I tile them, they look like they're matching and they don't have seams because I've blended seams together. So hopefully you guys can see that. So there's the blend of the seams there, but it doesn't look like a hard edge image. Whereas the original would look a lot more. Cool. So you can see the original has a lot more of a hard edge border, This one smooths in a bit. It's a bit harder to see. But as I said, geometric shapes don't work that well with it. You're better off with stuff like grass or rock and stuff. Stuff that's a lot more organic. But that's how you would edit it: filter, other, offset, and then you would clone between them. So close that. So in bitmap to material, I can also do it here. There's this make it tile thing. You can do edges, so it'll tile the edges, and you can see like it's actually not that bad here. Sometimes it's really bad, but this is actually not that bad. So let me just turn it off. So off, you can see a hard delineation, and with it on, it's actually not too bad. It kind of like blends it in. The tiling transition size, if I control that, you can see like how wide the edge to the center is from where it transitions, and the precision is like how sharp the fade is between them, and you can see it a bit better here up top. Cool. So you just play around with that until you get a good tiling, and this is not too bad. Then we're going to go to relief, and relief is basically kind of the normal, like how it pretends to have a normal map. And you can control this is the normal intensity. If I drop it down to 0, there's no relief. It's exactly flat, completely flat. But with an intensity on, it'll start grabbing, kind of like all the dark areas will be pushed downwards and all the light areas will be pushed upwards. And I can control that using the low, mid, and high frequencies. So if the low frequencies go down, all the dark areas get pushed down way more. And mids control how high they go. And you can kind of like make it look really carved in, like so. Or the opposite. So these frequencies will control them. And cool. Then there is the diffuse color. So the diffuse color, these are all things you can do in Photoshop: shifting the hue, adding contrast, adding saturation. These are all things you can just do in Photoshop, but just if you want to do them here, you can do them here as well. I don't like the way it works here. I think Photoshop's a bit better, but if you are stuck, you can do that. Hue shift will change the color. So I'm going to try and get this kind of terracotta look. It was all blue before. Kind of like the blue. Yeah, that's okay. Alright, so now it looks like kind of carved into rock. Now we have the roughness. If I'm going too fast, let me know, please. And in the roughness, that literally controls how shiny or how smooth this object is. Right now it's in the middle, so if I drop the roughness down to 0, it should go real shiny. There you go. Really, really shiny. You almost never want it at 0, because nothing in real life is at 0. You probably want it a little bit higher than 0. And if I go all the way up to the other side, it now becomes completely matte. So it looks very like it's got loads of imperfections, micro imperfections. So now my thing that originally started off as porcelain now kind of looks like sandstone because of the material that I'm messing around with. I can also do roughness from color, which is quite interesting. So if I turn that on, I can select a color using this color here. I can click on pick, and if I select, say, this white color, I'll select the white color, and I'll say that everything that's in that color will be shiny, and everything that's not. So make that shiny. Is that working? Takes a little while to update. There we go. Just had to bump up the range a little. So the range is like how wide it'll select from. And now you can, hopefully you can see that. I'm not sure you can see that well. All the kind of white areas are shiny, and all the areas that are not white are not as shiny at all. And the softness is kind of how it blends between. So make it a bit softer, just to blend between. So it looks like it's this kind of marble, white marble, and the rest are carved into it, kind of etched sandstone or something. And metallicity works basically the same way. Exactly the same thing. I can choose it from color as well. So I can make it so the white parts are metallic and everything else is not. Same kind of diff. Range again. Ooh, that's a bit too high. So you can kind of see if I put the range up fully, it just affects everything. If I drop the range down a little bit, it only kind of affects anything that's whitish. And then how much metallicity it has, or how little. And dirt is just kind of how much dirt's on the metal. So now I've got some kind of Promethean kind of weird material. Ambient occlusion is the shadows, how dark the shadows are. So I'm gonna dump down the low frequencies, and you can see that affecting the low frequencies. So that's crazy high, and I probably don't want that. I probably want it somewhere a bit less pronounced. And it takes a little while to update, so just give it some time. And that's basically how you get like ambient occlusion. This is way too much. I don't want this to be. I want to smoothen this out a little. So the ambient occlusion kind of simulates darkness in the little cracks. I'm going to ignore grunge. Don't really need it. It basically takes a texture and puts grunge onto the texture. But I don't really, you can mess with that if you like. I don't really use it that much. And then when you're done, it will output them into a bunch of different pictures. So for Unity, we definitely need metallic. We'll need roughness as well. We'll need the color, we'll need the normal map, and we'll need the height and the ambient occlusion by minimum. So this right now, sorry, not even for Unity, for Substance Painter. This right now is grand. It'll just output as a bunch of textures, but it's not a material that we can use in Substance Painter yet. So this is not too bad. So if I go to export as bitmap, it's got all these selected. I can deselect all of them and just turn on the ones I want. So I want base color, roughness, metallic, well, diffuse rather than base color. I need normal, glossiness, where's rough? Don't have any emissive. I do want an occlusion. And that should be good. Height. Cool, that should be okay. And you can tell where to export it to. You can browse to a folder to export it to somewhere and change the format to PNG. Now, by default, it should create a file that you can bring into Substance Painter, but it never seems to. So I'm just going to make my own. So I'm just going to export all these textures first. So export, it's going to export them all. And in there, you should see them showing up here. And you can go straight to Unity with this. You can just use these in Unity straight away. Close, and I can close this. But now we're going to go to Designer and create a material that we can use in Painter. So in Designer, all I need to do is add a new substance. This guy here, or you can right click here as well. You can right click, oh my substance, that's crashed, there we go. And we want a physically base metal roughness. So I'm going to use that. Cool. And this is what Designer has. This is what the material is. It's got these inputs. If I scroll in, you should be able to see them. Base color, normal map, roughness, metallic, height. And it uses these to create a material. It has a bunch of stuff up here as well. It's like blends, stuff like that, but I never use these. I prefer to deal with the textures in Photoshop if I need to change them, but you can. So I'm just going to grab these So I need my ambient occlusion, my diffuse isn't working, but I'll just take the original here. Height map, metallic map, and the normal map, and the roughness map. And just drag them in. And import them. Okie dokes. Don't care. Don't care. Cool, so they're all imported. And for this, like the reason why you have these up here is you can do a thing like, for example, this is a blend and it should blend an input and an output. So I could, if I wanted to, blend this with that and control how much they blend with each other if I wanted to, but like that's what these guys are for, to kind of edit the image, but I don't need that. Just hit delete, get rid of them. All I need to do is link them to their outputs. So this is a normal map. I'll link that to the normal map output, and you can see the material starting to get its normal map on it. I'll link the color to the color. Should link up the color now. There we go. This one is the, click on it, what's this one say? This is called roughness. So the roughness goes to the roughness map. This is metallic, I want to say. No, ambient occlusion. So I don't have an ambient occlusion, but that's okay. Where is this? This is height. Height goes to the height. And finally I have metallic. That should go to metallic. And I essentially have the same image. I didn't have the new color because I had to use my original one. But this is a material that can be used. I can also add different types of nodes here. And so, this is what the material should look like when I use it. And all I need to do now is right click here and publish SPSR file. So I want to basically create a file that I can use. I'll call it file. Save that. That should be saved. Cool, there it is, SBS. And it also saves as a SBSAR. There are two different types. It doesn't really matter. We'll save both of them. And just hit OK. So you should see I've got an SBS and an SBSAR file. They're both different types of material files. I'll probably use the Subsar because Subsar seems to work a bit better. So now I can close Designer, don't need it anymore. Open up Painter. Oh, dark. Cool, so in Substance Designer, I should just be able to, in the materials, drag in the Subsar file and tell Substance that it's a material. I'm just going to import it just for now, import the current session. It should show up there after I import. There we go, and it's usable as a material. Let's just test that. Put a new mesh in. Did we ever make a mesh? Let's put it on this one. It's not unwrapped properly, but what else? So there's this box, and if I just drag the material in like a normal material, it should work. There we go. It's just that the box is not unwrapped properly, but it does work as a material in Substance Painter. Cool. And it does like the settings that we set it to, so you can see the white parts are a bit shiny and the other parts are not. And they're raised up, the white parts are raised up, but the other parts are pushed down. Exactly as we set them up in Substance. So that's basically how you would create your own materials if there's a texture that you found that you want to use but you don't have material from it. Just real quick before we finish as well, I just wanted to show you there are the two things. I've said this before, but I'm sure some of you have forgotten. There's this place called Substance Share and Substance Source. Two different things. So Substance Source is paid, but you do get some things free if you log in. So I'm logged in, I think. Yeah, I am. So if you're logged in, you can just go to Substance Source, and they occasionally give you some materials for free. So if this loads, there. These are all free. I have them. I've downloaded them, and there are free assets here. So these change every so often. Like this one is new today. So you can go there and just see what they have for free. Otherwise, you can go and you can buy a subscription, but I wouldn't bother. If you use the Substance Indie license where you pay every month, I would do that because you do get free downloads from this. You get a certain amount of free downloads. I bought out the whole license outright, so I don't get it. And then there's Substance Share, where these are, you can get brushes and images and stuff, and most importantly, materials. Just go to materials. Well, there are tons of materials that people have made for you. They should be free to use. Everything on here, check the licenses, but everything on here should be free to download and use. And they come in just like the thing that we just made. We just made the SBSAR file that you can just drag in, and they should all be in that format. You just drag them in and tell them that it's a material, and then you can just use them. Cool. So that's it for today, unless there's any questions. Has you guys been hearing? No? All good?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, cool. That is recorded. I'm gonna upload that now, hopefully, if that recorded okay. And Twitch should hold on to it for a little while as well.
Sweet.
All right. Sweet. Thank you.
Alright, no problems. Thank you guys for showing up.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.